Hello. Today is post-op day 37. Um, it is Friday, and Wednesday I went up to Cleveland. Mom and I got up very, very early and went up to Cleveland, made the 8-hour drive, and had my appointment with Dr. Gorgon and the stoma nurse at 3:40 and 4 o'clock. That all went great. They were pretty happy with everything. Dr. Gorgon was for sure happy with everything. He gave me the green light to go back to work, which I'm very, very happy about. He also said that he pretty much was giving me no restrictions at this point. He said I can eat what I want, I can work out and do whatever I want. I made the joke with him. I was like, so, if I want to go play tennis, I can go do that. I was like, well, I don't play tennis, but if I wanted to, you would let me? And he's like, yep, pretty much. I can go run a marathon tomorrow if I wanted to, but I would die. So that was awesome. And he was like, I'm glad you're feeling good. He was glad that I wanted to go back to work. And he said that, hi Bear. He said that I just kind of need to listen to my body still. Maybe not do 3 12s in a row, of course. And he wanted to schedule the second surgery. So I talked to his main nurse that's always with him, and she went ahead, got his schedule out, and she said, when do you want to do it? In July. And I said, July 1st sounds good to me. Let's get this over with. So we went ahead and scheduled the second surgery, which is removing my rectum and then taking the piece of intestine, which is the ileum that's sticking out now, and using that in another loop of my small intestine to create the J pouch. Basically, he will staple 2 of those loops together and put that in place of where my rectum used to be. So there's good news and bad news with that surgery. The bad news is that you go in feeling really good, and then they knock you on your butt. Literally. The process of taking the rectum out is very painful. And then reconstructing the small bowel to forming that J pouch, they said, is pretty intense as well. There's a lot of stapling involved. They said when they remove the rectum, it's almost like they burn a whole piece of skin. Regardless, I mean, it has to be done because I don't want to live with the bag for the rest of my life. So just gonna have to suck it up and deal with it. The good news is that I found out I don't have to do a bowel prep again for the rest of my entire life, because if you don't have a colon, you don't have to have a colonoscopy, yeah. So that's awesome. She said, really, I'll just have to be NPO like after midnight, and other than that, I'm good to go. The other good news is that there's no rectal tube, which I just wanted to clarify. I mean, it makes sense that there wouldn't have to be one. I will have a drain coming out of my abdomen this time, but I will not have to have the rectal tube, which is like that was music to my ears because that was the most miserable part of the whole surgery. Um, so those two things I was very excited about. The only other thing that Dr. Gorgon, when he came in, I showed him the rash that I've been experiencing, um, which I took pictures of last night. I'm going to try and get those posted. And he said more than likely that it's all contributed to me stopping the steroids. He's like, you were on them for a very long time, and then we kind of weaned you off of them really quickly, which is what I thought. Because every other time I've had to wean off of steroids, it's like I would get to 20 and then they would go by 5 until I got to 10, and then it was never, I guess, like I would never like decrease by like 5 a week. It was almost like, okay, do go down by 5 like almost a month sometimes, or 2 weeks. And then once I got down below 10, it was go down by 2.5. So regardless, I was on them forever. And then basically he weaned me off in 30 days. So he was not shocked that I had this rash. The rash was also around like my stoma site, and basically in the shape of a diamond, which was, you know, how with where my adhesive was to keep the pouch on. And so we talked about stuff, and Dr. Gorgon said if it gets any worse, to let him know. He might put me back on steroids, but he said hopefully my body would just even itself out. Today the rashes looked better than the past 2 days, so hopefully he's right. I've been taking Benadryl, and I have some Benadryl spray that I put on it. I do have some hydrocortisone cream, but I haven't used that yet. Trying not to. Other than that, like I said, it was awesome. I got to schedule the next surgery, and pretty much get to go back to doing whatever it is I want to do, which is great. He gave me my work release, and that was about it on his part. Oh, I did tell him that I had been, or I felt like I was having like that urgency and more mucus and blood from my rectum, and that I was more tired since stopping the steroids. He said hopefully that, you know, my energy level will pick back up within like a week or two. And then his nurse said that if I notice a lot more output from my rectum, that we could always do enemas or something like that again. She said hopefully it doesn't come to that. I was like, well, been there, done that. The stoma nurse gave me these Holyhesive patches. And basically it's adhesive on both sides. She thought maybe I was allergic to the adhesive from my appliance. So basically she wanted me to try that. So she gave me a whole box of them, and hopefully that should work. She wants me to change my bag in the morning and take a look at the skin. Because like I said, it was red and it looked like kind of the same rash as my arm. So either A, it's from steroid withdrawal, or I really am like just sensitive to the Hollister adhesive. She also was not exactly happy with the form to fit barrier, or the ring that I've been using. So she said hopefully with the Holi adhesive that would keep everything tighter around the stoma, because I explained to her how sometimes there was like say this is my stoma, that right around the outside there would sometimes be like stool on my actual skin, which you don't want because it'll cause breakdown and it will kind of eat away at your skin. So she said, you know, that's bad. She wasn't happy with that at all. So she's hoping that the Holi adhesive will keep everything a little bit tighter. If not, she said I might have to go back to the rings that you cut. Now, she also said that I was kind of like the guinea pig, which I didn't really know that ahead of time. She said that I was kind of the first person that ever was using the moldable ones. So I was like, well, that's kind of cool. But she's like, so you probably know more about it than me. But regardless, I think we've got it under control. They also gave me some nystatin powder to use when I'm changing it, just in case anything was kind of growing under there, because I told her how bad it itched sometimes. So all those things should help, and she said if I had any questions to call them, or I told her about the pouch place here in Knoxville. The only other thing was when Dr. Gorgon came in, he asked me, you know, if I had had any more back pain or anything along those lines. And he looked me square in the eye and goes, yeah, he's like, you scared the crap out of us. And I was like, I scared you? I was like, no. I was like, I'm glad I wasn't the only one scared, but it's weird to hear a doctor say that they were scared. So, other than that, that was pretty much it. It seemed like it was a lot jam-packed into about 30, 45 minutes of an appointment. Mom and I we stayed at a hotel and got up the next morning. Of course, it was snowing because it's Cleveland, Ohio, and we got up and drove home. We definitely wanted to get home by 6 so I could pick up Bear from the kennel. I boarded him at the vet, and he seemed to be walking, and he seems to be doing a lot better. He's not in nearly as much pain. And really, it's all kind of just now on that right leg again that he seems to have trouble with. But he was very happy to see us, and we were happy to see him too. Yesterday was a difficult day emotionally. Like, it seems like I was so excited with my progress and how everything was going. But it was the 1-year anniversary of when my stepdad passed away. So I was very glad that my mom was here, so that we could go through that together. I don't think that it gets any easier. They say that it does, but I don't know. I'm waiting for it to get easier. Some days it seems like yesterday that we said goodbye to him. So that definitely made the day a lot rougher than a normal day. So then today, let's see. Mom and I went to Employee Health, and I got their clearance that I was good to go back to work. I'm going to call my night shift manager here in a minute and have her put me back on the schedule. And Mom and I went and ate at a little cafe today that we really liked. That it's also Yummy Cafe. So that was good. And kind of just tidied up. She's all packed up. I take her to the airport at 10:30 in the morning, so we knew that if I got cleared to go to work and if they said everything was fine, that she would head on back home. She's got to get back to her life. She put a lot on hold to be here for me. A lot of people have done so much for me while I have been laid up, and my mom has been here every day, and I can't thank her enough. I'm going to miss her. And she's just pretty awesome. I know anyone that knows her knows that. So, I don't think I'll ever be able to repay her for everything that she's done. I could spend a lifetime trying to. So, I think that's about it. Tomorrow I might be a mess. Or just sleeping. I seem to be pretty tired these days. So hopefully I'll perk up by Monday. Maybe get to work a 12-hour shift. We'll see. So, alright.